Good morning. I know not enough people here as yet. I'm told some of them are still in queues outside and some of them are trying to make sure that they can beat the queue and come in. Having said that, I think there's enough energy inside here. Good morning. Thank you very much, and thanks for taking time. Thanks for coming in here. I was being described as the driving force. I don't know whether that's the right word at all. But the one thing I know is that Retailers Association of India is what it is because it's an association by all of you. It's your association, and you all drive me well enough to make sure that it keeps getting relevant to each one of us every day. Uh, Retail as a business is looking extremely good, extremely interesting. It's one of those sectors that I think everybody acknowledges. It's one of those sectors that we know can take India towards its achievement of all economic goals, because if retail consumption increases, then India overall will definitely have much better GDP and would go towards what is being currently looked at as one of the advanced nations in the world. Uh, so, what's driving most of us? What's making us tick? One is definitely the young consumers that are there in this country. Two, per capita income is definitely showing an uptrend. Doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's income is increasing, but those who can and who are willing to strive are definitely seeing their income levels increasing. For all those who are striving, there is definitely income levels possible in this country. And nice, good income is also possible. The consumers are getting better deals and better offers and better choices than they ever got. The roti kapda makan, that was the original thought process for Indian consumers, is still existing. There is still the need for the roti and the kapda and the makan with a small twist. The twist is that we can choose our roti, we can choose our makan, and we can choose the kind of kapda that we want to wear. And that's being made sure by various people who are inside this room and who are still approaching to come in into this room. We create the choices for consumers, and I believe consumers then state their vote by making sure that they buy from brands and from retailers whom they think are adding the most value. So, who are the retailers who are adding value to consumers? What are consumers looking for? They are looking for A, being recognized. I think that's become the most important thing. Being personalization is one of the key things that's happening in the market. In a market filled with clutter, if you know your consumers, if you are able to speak to your consumers, if you are able to direct uh, your offerings to the consumers, offerings that makes most sense for that individual consumer, then they come in and frequent your store or they come and frequent your website. That is for sure. If you offer them things that they are not interested in, they'll immediately put you into a junk box, and it's going to take you forever to come out of that junk box, whether physically or digitally. So personalization. And then you couple it with speed, you couple it with accuracy, you couple it with the right kind of pricing and the right kind of quality, and you are there. I know it sounds easy, but it's also not very difficult if you got the right kind of technology. So therefore, we've got various people coming in here who also dabbling into various levels of technology to create most relevance to consumers. Why is technology important to most of us? I think important because most of us have seen a huge revolution in the way we behave. India has taken up very large steps to ensure that there is population level technology available. For most of us, getting our Aadhaar number and showing who we are has become very, very easy. Was this possible a decade before? Not really. So now that we all know who we are and we are able to showcase who we are, our ability to interact with the banks has become easier. Our ability to interact with various official websites has become easier. Our ability to get the right kind of personal loans has become easier. Our ability to also therefore work on various technologies that will help our lives feel better, including things like digital locker has become much easier. So life definitely is changing thanks to the population level technology. From a retail standpoint, I think this whole setup of open network for digital commerce will make a big, big change in the way most consumers will shop. And I hope most of us in retail are already on in ONDC or on our steps towards taking a full-fledged ONDC capability into our organization. The digital is not something to be scoffed at. The latest survey says that 50% of India is already completely digital, in the sense that they are able to access their internet easily. Now, this sounds like not very large in a percentage term, but imagine this is 1.4 billion population, and of that, if 50% are able to now get onto their internet easily, that means that most of the adults are definitely there in it. And this is going to make life much easier. Of course, I'm told that sometimes it's the youngsters who are more on digital than even the slightly older people. So that makes us a very, very capable country to be able to talk to each other much easier. Retail as a sector is become competitive. The fact is that entry barriers that used to exist 10 years before are not there anymore. If you've got a great idea, if you've got a great brand understanding, you could definitely start a retail business in this country, and then it's up to you to hone the brand up, to make sure that you create relevance day to day with the consumers, and then take it to various other levels. Many of the retailers of today are coming online first and then going offline, which was not the way it was 10 years before. Most of them were thinking that retail is all about offline. But now many are coming online. But they are also realizing that in order to use the potential of the Indian population, you just can't concentrate on being just online. You also got to make sure that you are available to the consumers in an omni-channel basis. So therefore, they do open up offline stores. They're also looking at social media commerce very seriously to try and make sure that they can do things with consumers there. And individual companies' websites are getting spruced up to make sure that's relevant. And I hope today will tell us how various companies are using various strategies to grow and ensure that they are becoming more relevant to their consumers. Um, uh, Event like this cannot be done unless we have the support of all our members. So thank you, and a big round of applause for all of us here. It also can't be done unless we get support as Retailers Association. And I have to say thank you to the council that really is in Delhi, the Delhi Chapter Council, which worked to make sure that this became successful. So my big thanks to the Delhi Council. Some of the members are already here, and I hope that they give the strength for us to do what we are doing here. The event can also never be done unless we have various people who come in as partners and supporters. So do take time to look at various partner stalls and various partners who are available here. Many of them can change the way you do your retailing business, because they are the people who are going to make our retail business easier, faster, more accurate, and therefore much more relevant for our consumers. Without much ado, I take this as the right time to say thank you, namaskar, and I hope it's going to be a learning day for all of us. Namaste.